Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
Portland Woods, is that you?
You're not in front of me, Judge.
Yeah, in front of her first, please. Thank you. Here they come.
Yeah.
We said a prayer. We had a funeral for the computer and we wish it best in
Mine's messing up now.
computer heaven.
Here to get it.
23 CR 202 is called the State of Texas versus Cortland Woods. Is that you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Present with your attorney, Mr. West, and the state's attorney. Does the defendant waive a formal reading of the motion to revoke unadjudicated probation filed July 29th, 2024? Can we proceed in summary?
Yes, sir.
In summary, this motion states, ma'am, and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any statements you make during this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Lower your hand. This states that on January 29th of 2024, in this court, you were placed on 10 years deferred or unadjudicated probation for the second degree felony of assault on a peace officer. Is all of that true?
Yes.
One states you failed to report to the Jefferson County Probation Office on or about March 27th, April 22nd, and June 20th of 2024. I guess you absconded. She took off.
Not
right?
a absconder status, but she didn't report.
She's
For-
never missed.
She was put on probation in January
Yeah, I know.
and
I did stronger. That sounds bad. It's not what I did.
Okay, was it, well, were these successive times she was supposed to be reporting? Was she reporting monthly?
Yes, it was supposed to.
Well, it says she didn't report in March, April, and June. Did she report in May?
No, she-
Well, that would include it. What about July?
That's when the motion was filed.
It would have been after she would have had to have reported.
Oh,
So the last time she reported, okay, so she was placed on probation in January. So we have a February report date,
She did intake that day and then she reported March the 6th.
March 6th, and then that was the last we heard from her,
Yes.
which means you absconded.
I left voice message. I talked to you on.
Did you show up in person or
Oh,
not?
No, sir.
Isn't that what you were required to do?
Yes.
Okay,
I
So-
apologize.
and so, what happened? Were you arrested?
Yes,
When?
2 months, last month.
Last month. So we're talking about in August?
Yes.
Where were you arrested at?
I was arrested in New Orleans.
And where?
Needland.
Needland. Okay. Would you forget to come
Yeah.
in?
No, I just.
You didn't forget. I know. Well, what? You're
I just-
bouncing around. Relax. Did
Yeah.
you have to go to the restroom or something?
No, I
Okay.
was just nervous. I'm home, I was home to home and I'm homeless, going from home to home.
I know,
and-
but you have an obligation. If you can't do anything else, and there's a lot of conditions of probation and a lot of those we pass for folks who have issues. But the one thing you have to do is report, or else
I will
don't
report.
interrupt me.
So yes.
You have to report, or else you're really not on probation and supervision. If you're not connected to us, then you're not supervised, which is the whole essence of what not going to prison, the only alternative, which is your only alternative if you don't get supervised and follow the supervision terms.
I was diagnosed with schizophrenia in 2024 and I'm,
Nonetheless, nobody said you were incompetent.
Yeah.
Nobody said you're insane. And everybody has issues. No one's perfect. So that's, everybody's a little imperfect.
yeah,
You're just welcome to the planet. All of us are that. Nobody's perfect in this room right here. Nobody.
I understand.
So we all deal with our issues, but we have to work with them to fit what the requirements of life are. And these requirements are for anybody.
I understand, sir.
All right.
I understand.
Don't think, I don't know if you feel like, well, I'm imperfect, so I get to pass. No, you can be successful just like anyone else.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You have the capability. How far did you go in school?
I dropped out in 8th grade.
I bet you made good grades though.
I didn't, no, sir. I have a learning disability.
Okay, what do you mean?
I have a retainer.
Okay, and bad memory?
Yeah,
All right.
but yeah, I dropped out in 8th grade.
All right, because I know a lot of people who do drop out early and they're still almost savants. They're high intellectual people. Which means you could be high intellectual as well and just have a learning issue. But nonetheless, you know this one thing, that failure to follow the rules has consequences.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we didn't report, we were absconder, you pleading true to that voluntarily and because it is true.
Yes,
You understand, by a plea of true, a
yes, sir.
voluntary and knowing plea of true to one or more violations of probation, that is enough to grant these motions to revoke probation. Your probations can be revoked. You can now be found guilty and sentenced up to the full range of punishment. And we're talking about here a second degree felony. You're looking at no less than 2, no more than 10 years confinement in prison.
No more than 20.
I'm sorry,
Just a second.
no less than 2, no more than 20 years confinement in prison. See, there I go, making a mistake. Understanding the consequences of pleading true, do you still insist on pleading true today?
Yes,
I find you are pleading true voluntarily. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading true. My battery is running low here. Why does that not surprise me? Today's one of those days. An agreement has been reached here where you would you would be found guilty, sentenced to 10 years in prison. That would be suspended and you would be placed on regular probation for up to 10 years. Is that your understanding of the
Yes, sir.
agreement? If I follow this, you have no right of appeal
I will show up and I will report, sir.
of your case. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So you'll hear what's marked as State's Exhibit 1. I'm going to ask you if you sign that, discuss it with your attorney. Is everything true and
Yes, sir.
correct? State's Exhibit 1 tendered into evidence.
No objection.
Without objection admitted. Among other things, this states you are mentally competent to enter your plea, which is freely and voluntarily made. You were admitting true to this violation of probation. And you understand the consequences of pleading true,
Yes,
and that you will be placed on regular probation, and this is your agreement that you agree to, so help you God.
so, yes, sir.
State's Exhibit 1 is made a part of the record for all purposes, and you are also waiving any right of appeal. If I follow this agreement, I am going to and find you are entering your pleas of true voluntarily, your plea of true voluntarily, knowingly, intelligently. That is enough to grant this motion to revoke probation by a preponderance of the evidence or greater, and your deferred or unadjudicated probation is hereby revoked. Earlier in this case, you pleaded guilty voluntarily. You were mentally competent to do so. You understand the consequences of pleading guilty. There was sufficient evidence supporting your guilty plea for State's Exhibit 1 admitted
Yes, sir.
to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. I now find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. I'm following this agreement of this underlying offense here of assault on a peace officer. You are hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 10 years. That is suspended. You are placed on regular probation for 10 years. There will be terms and conditions of probation, which are normal and customary for that type of offense. Make sure you follow that or your probation can be revoked. You can be sentenced up to 10 years in prison. You don't want that. So please follow the rules.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, ma'am. That is all.
Thank you.
Okay, it's Freeman.
Yes, they're all come in front of me.
It's off the trial docket, Judge.
Ma'am, not in front of me. I think she finger punched. Raise your right.
I'll tell you.
Square or.
23 CR 955 is called the State of Texas versus Courtney Freeman. That is you present with Ms. Prozo, your attorney and the state's attorney. Does the defendant waive a formal reading of the indictment
It's only the first paragraph, Judge.
and arraignment? Can we proceed in summary?
Yes.
In summary, paragraph 1 of this indictment alleges that on or about May 18th, 2023 in Jefferson County, Texas, you committed the 3rd-degree felony of injury to a child
Or elderly.
or elderly person. It says elderly, disabled, or child. So it's an elderly person or disabled person, one of those.
Elderly.
Is that your understanding? Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, sir.
All right, this is a third degree felony, which means that you face a term of not more than 10 years or less than 2 years in prison. In addition, a fine may be assessed not to exceed $10,000. You understand?
Yes, sir.
An agreement's been reached where you would be pleading guilty, sentenced to 4 years in prison and giving up all rights appeal. If I follow this, which I intend to do, is that your understanding? If I follow this, you have no right of appeal. How do you plead to this, guilty or not guilty? Are you pleading guilty voluntarily and because you're guilty?
Yes,
Show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 1 there. Did you sign that document voluntarily?
Yes.
Understand it, discuss it with your attorney, or the contents all true and correct?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 1 is tendered into evidence
Objection.
without objection admitted. Among other things, this states you are mentally competent to enter your guilty plea, which is freely and voluntarily made. You know what you've been charged with. The indictment's been read to you. You've read it. You were guilty of the crime charged in any lesser included offenses. You're giving up your rights to jury trial and the rights to the appearance, confrontation, cross-examination of witnesses. You were totally satisfied with the representation provided by your lawyer. All true, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Is a pre-sentence report waived? Dan?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to follow this agreement, if nothing further, and find that you are pleading guilty to this injury to an elderly person charge of third degree felony, voluntarily, knowingly, intelligently. There was sufficient evidence supporting your guilty plea from State's Exhibit 1 admitted here to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. I now find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of this charge. I'm following this agreement. You are hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 4 years. Do you understand what has happened today, ma'am? You will be given credit for all time you have served in conjunction with this offense. Anything else?
Yes, sir.
That is all. All right. We are in recess.
Thank you, Judge.
At 1:30.
Thank
you. 16-25251 is called Jorge Raviel Cordona. Is that you?
Yes, sir.
Present with your attorney, Mr. West, and the state's attorney. What are we going to do today?
Your Honor, I think he's gonna plead true to this and let the.
Unagreed?
decide.
All right.
That's the impression I'm getting. You want to.
All right, raise your right hand, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any statements you make during this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes.
Lower your hand. All right, in summary, can we proceed in summary? There's a motion to revoke unadjudicated probation filed August 15th, last month, 2024.
Yes, Your
In summary, this states that on December 12th, 2016, in this court, you were placed on 10 years deferred or unadjudicated probation for evading arrest or detention with a motor vehicle of third degree felony. Is that true? 1 states you failed to report to the Jefferson County Probation Office for the months of May and June 2024 in violation of your probation order. Is that true or untrue?
It's true.
Are you pleading true to that voluntarily and because it is true as it is alleged? Yes.
It means you should plead.
Is it true as this, as I just read it? Do you understand by a knowing and voluntary plea of true to a one or more violations of your probation, that's enough to grant the motion to revoke probation? Your probation can now be revoked. I can find you guilty of this evading arrest, third degree felony, and you are subject to no less than 2 nor more than 10 years confinement in prison, and a fine up to $10,000 could be assessed. Well, a fine of $500 could be assessed. That was the fine ordered. Do you understand the consequences of pleading true? This is what could happen. Knowing that, do you insist on pleading true today? Yes.
Yes.
See, you have to speak out for people. I find you are pleading true voluntarily. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading true. Now, there's one other violation that you are arrears and payments of fees and other required costs. But I'm more concerned about this situation of failing to report. Okay, so from the probation office, was he an absconder in May?
No, sir, he was not.
What
So
happened?
the last time he reported to the probation office before the administrative hearing on July 22nd was April the 24th of 2024. So when the administrative hearing was conducted, he was approaching absconder status.
Okay, did he appear for that hearing?
Yes, sir, he did.
Okay, so he's gone for 2 months.
Yes, sir.
But you've been working for 8 years here. Why would you not show up?
Well, that's
That's important.
This time schedule is like they have me in the morning now, since,
At work?
well, I mean, to report to probation.
But
And at work, it's, I have a time schedule because I ride the bus to work. It's like I don't have a time.
where do you work?
For Bechtel and Sabine, over there in Sabine Tax. So they.
How much do you make an hour?
I make $24 an hour.
That's $60,000
Yes.
a year without overtime. I mean, that's a great job.
Yes, but,
You don't want to ruin that.
well, I don't, I mean.
Do you have a
already-
family at home?
Yes, sir.
How many?
I got my mother and my 2 kids.
Okay, you're taking care of them. Well, they rely on you. What's going on when you're in jail? They can't.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose your job, do you? Did you lose your job because you're here?
Yes, sir. I lost my job.
That was one of the things, Your Honor, he was having to report to probation, and he was causing problems with work because they
Why?
let him off work. They were,
Cause I used to have late nights, before I went to
Well,
TVC.
this is all workable,
But-
really. If you could get with the probation office, we want you to
Yes,
work.
That's what
They
we're-
wanted me to,
that's what we're gonna ask for, Your Honor, if the court will continue him on probation because of this issue and let them work out a better schedule that works once he gets another job. He'll be able to get another job.
What state say?
I've kind of gone back and forth on this because while he was on probation, he actually got a 10-year sentence to the penitentiary for drugs. And so he knows he needed to kind of make sure he didn't stub his toe again.
Yeah, this isn't a substantive crime, though.
No, sir, and I understand that, Judge. That's
Let's
why I've
come
gone back and forth, but I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, he's this work thing,
You know.
but are you gonna be able to get hired back there?
they
You think?
say, that I will, since I had to quit because they want to give me a time frame, so I have to they will probably hire me in February, 6 months from the day I got, the day I.
But he'll be able to get another job in the meantime.
Maybe you can get another, what did you do over there?
Iron worker, structural iron worker.
Well, there are other ironworking jobs.
Yes, I just got a.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, he'll be able to get another job in the meantime, but he's trying to get back with Beck. It's a good company.
okay. Here's what I'm going to do, though.
Your Honor, could I? say
Yeah, I'm
something, please?
sorry. Yeah, you know best.
I'm sorry.
Yes, sir, from the probation.
This motion to revoke was at the request of the defendant. When we conducted this admin hearing, we notified him that continuing to failure to report and failure to pay could land him back in front of you as it is today. He said that that's exactly what he wanted. He wanted to be back here today. He said he didn't have time to report to the probation department.
Oh, he wants to be revoked and sentenced?
Your Honor,
At the time of the administrative hearing, that is what was said.
Okay,
He said that he's already been to prison before on this,
so it's no big deal.
and he said that there was a mistake made by the court.
I made a mistake? Did I? For what? What was my mistake? You made the mistake.
Yes, sir. Right.
You're blaming everybody else?
I'm not, I mean, at that time, I was kind of not having a good day, and thinking what I said it just out of impulse, so.
I think, Your Honor, at the time that he was upset because of the work schedule wasn't getting worked out. And I think it was
Well,
frustrating.
be careful what you ask
Yeah,
for.
Yes,
You might get granted
that's what he got.
what you want. And then try to get yourself out of that.
But I
What
think-
is it you want to do?
Well, can I speak?
Yes.
Well, the delinquent amount where I got sentenced, it built up, so I had a delinquent amount. They didn't want to give me, late nights in order to pay that amount back, so they can give me late nights. But like, how y'all want me to pay something that I was incarcerated for that I couldn't pay? So
You-
I wanted to
you-
have late nights so I can report.
You can work a good schedule as long as I know about it. I talk it over with the probation office. If they're okay, I'm okay, because we want you to succeed.
Late nights will be better for me.
And Your Honor, we were working around his schedule.
I'm sure you were.
It's
They
been-
they are easy to work
It's been
with.
continuous over the past year to year and a half that there's been numerous failures to report.
I think, Your Honor, him being in jail and seeing this, I think he's decided that he needs to do everything he can to work on this. And like I said, this is just an administrative issue.
Mr.
He'd been doing-
Cordona,
he'd been
do you
doing
want to go to
15 years.
prison or not? You're looking at, yeah,
10 years.
up to 10 years in prison. That's not what you want. All right. Do you want to be independent, take care of your family, which requires you staying out of prison and getting a job and keeping a good job?
Yes.
We work backwards to help people do that. That's what we want. And every case is a little different. We work with everybody in their unique circumstances. You're not different. You got to work it out like a responsible person, or else you're going to go to prison. But the rules are the rules, but we are flexible as long as you do your part. I don't want to hear you back here saying it's somebody else's fault. It's going to be your fault next time because we're going to work with you. But you got to do your part by putting 100% effort in the right thing, or else all of that time and responsibility is lost. You don't want that. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find that there is sufficient evidence supporting this motion to grant it by preponderance of the evidence or greater, as the defendant has pleaded true to allegation 1, voluntarily, knowingly, intelligently. But I'm not going to revoke it. I'm going to postpone any further action on this, except you are required to fulfill your terms and obligations of probation. I want to review this in 6 months, how we're doing, unless you fail, and then you're going to be up here fast. And let's work this out. This is workable, but we'll review it in 6 months. You don't want a revocation, and you don't want to go to prison for 10 years, and all of that is something that can be fixed. Do it. And work with the probation office. They're easy to work with. If you have a problem, you talk to him. You understand? Okay. Anything else?
That's Rush Hour.
All right. We're in recess. Thank you.